Greetings to my 5 subscribers. I'm just thinking out loud right now. I've got several things on my mind, so I hope this makes sense. I tend to take the long view. I tend to see the big picture and not focus on the day-to-day minutia. I try to remain focused on the big picture. And if you analyze current events in light of this big picture, in light of events that took place 100 years ago and 500 years ago, and even 1,000 years ago, I believe today will be more clear. After the fall of the Roman Empire, now what relevance does this have? Well, because we Americans have roots in Europe and Britain, and we trace our roots back to European ages, such as the fall of Rome and the subsequent Dark Ages that were dominated by the feudal system. Unelected kings or dictators or warlords ruled with the help of a privileged few. The vast majority of mankind, teeming masses in Europe, lived a pitiful existence, and the few dictators and their royalty, their privileged classes, lived high on the hog. You can recall that Christopher Columbus made his historic voyage, his original voyage, in 1492, trying to find a trade route with the Orient, another route to India and China for the purpose of trade, and he was stopped short of his goal by an unknown continent, unknown to the Europeans, the continent of North and South America, the two continents of North and South America. Along this time, Europeans began to colonize, and they colonized Africa and India, Southeast Asia, and of course North and South America. The main difference between the formation of the modern United States of America and countries such as modern-day France or Germany or Spain or Italy is that America began as a colony, and these European countries inherited a lot of baggage. They inherited that resentment toward the aristocracy, the privileged few. I suspect that that resentment gave rise to the communist movement, which had its origins in Europe, probably in France, about the time of the Industrial Revolution. And whereas the United States originated with the Declaration of Independence from Britain, the European countries originated by overthrowing their monarchs, largely out of resentment for their privileged lifestyle. So you see, the history of Europeans is somewhat different than the history and the background and thinking of Americans. Americans, U.S. citizens, pursued what is called the American dream. And frankly, the Europeans pursued a policy which could be called redistribution of wealth. Redistribution of wealth.
I can't imagine you're going from governor of a small populated state, sparsely populated, sparsely populated, sparsely populated, sparsely populated, sparsely populated, to all of a sudden.
It's very humbling.
Little frightening.
It's very humbling.
Little frightening.
It's very humbling.
Little frightening.
It's very humbling.
Little frightening.